Hey guys, so Little Doge has been doing pretty good for being such a little Doge. It is, really interesting to see how many of these Doge type coins have done exceptionally well. Just last week, our Discord group spotted Mini Doge, which did over 100x in just a few days from last Friday. It's down now a little bit, but still way up. I think it's still like over 50x up from last week. So really, really incredible, the types of things we're seeing with these Doge type coins. Now, Little Doge launched yesterday. We found it in our Discord group. For those that don't know, we have a few hundred people in there that are really well organized because we follow the same crypto pre-sale strategy. And so we drop them into the bucket. We have scouts that drop them into this bucket. That's where we found Little Doge. And then we discuss it like an insider chat. We have lots of categories for different things, but just to give you the gist of it, then when it gets vetted, it goes into the vetted category. And so somebody had thrown this in the bucket and we vetted it and insiders are talking about it. So we get on the pre-sales before they launch on Pancake. And then if we miss those, we still hear about them early. I got on this one right after the pre-sale ended. So I got into it very early and the price action's looking pretty good. Now there were a couple of whales that just sold. It started to almost start to moon again. And then this big red candle here was spurred by like a over 190 BNB sale somewhere in there. Then it started to go back up again, and there was like a 98 BNB sale. And I looked, and those were two different whales. So people that do these pre-sales will often take, they'll take profits, and because they got in during the pre-sale. And that's why we get on these pre-sales, because you can make an absolute killing when you get on the pre-sale, or you get in when it hits PancakeSwap here early, like I did. And then what we often do is we rip FT. So as it's coming up, as soon as we can recoup investment, that's the RI in RIP FT, take profit, that's the P in RIP FT, and then we leave in free tokens, that's the FT in RIP FT. We leave in free tokens so that we can keep selling if this keeps going up. So that's what we do. And sometimes you can even become a top token holder after you've RIP FT'd. And I've done that many times where we get into the pre-sale, and then you sell, recouped investment, take a 20% profit, and then leave the rest in. And you could even be a top 20 token holder and have, billions and sometimes over a trillion free tokens and have no risk, but you can continue selling as it continues going up over the weeks and months if it's a good project. So, it's a really effective strategy to get into the pre-sales or get in early on Pancake, like I did with this one. Of course, we find out about those in our Discord group. I'll put a link below if you're interested in learning about that. But Little Doge is a lot like these other meme coins, except not very many of them get as much traction as I've seen this one get. So and have such a low market cap at the same time. The market cap right now, and I think it's because where the market's at, where it's kind of things are going sideways. It's only 1.9 million. And this launched yesterday. So this is still very early in the game when you're seeing the other criteria that we look for be met. And it's excellent communication is one of the top criteria. You see they got the voice chat going. You see they've got, it's not a huge number yet. They have over 3,000 people in their Telegram group. Again, it's just the next day. Now, Mini Doge, I think it was well over 10,000, maybe it was even over that. Everrise, a little bit different than your typical meme coin, Everrise, but they had tens of thousands in theirs. But of course, those just really went to the moon fast. Sometimes I prefer these that are showing signs that they're going to, slowly build up over the course of the next couple of weeks, potentially, no guarantees, but potentially we look for these indicators because there's these other styles of growth where they don't launch with this huge boom. Again, only, it's under a 2 million market cap at the moment, a day after it launched. So it's not like it doesn't have the marketing momentum that Everrise had or that Mini Doge had, but I've seen many of these then continue on and see that, a similar type of trajectory. It just took them a couple of weeks because they were building up the marketing. And some of the things we look for is great communication, really well organized, and the types of people they're attracting. Typically, when one of these projects has great communication, then they attract other people that make a phenomenal community. It's exactly what I'm seeing here. And if we look down here, you're going to see this is for a project that launched one day ago that's still under a $2 million market cap. There is incredible activity in here, and it's an incredible community. So that's one of the things I look for that may not be so obvious as a absolute indicator of where something's going to go, but it really is one of my more tangible indicators of where something's going to go. And it's proved to be very, very effective. So that's one thing I'm looking at. Very, very good community, very strong. I saw them get on the DEX tools #1 list because they were all hitting DEX tools. They're doing things collectively to make things happen. Really, really impressive from that perspective. Now, if we look at what this actually is, there's not a lot to it. And interestingly enough, I have a theory on why a lot of times, if it's a really good community and it's really good communication, it's really well organized, and it's following some kind of trend, like in this case, the Doge, right, with LittleDoge theme, they can do really, really well, better in the early stages, those first few months, better than some really good utility type projects. My theory on that is because it's really easy to understand. And so I don't know how many more months or years we're going to see that kind of trend, maybe to be something that always sticks, where, things that just appeal based on some meme, some basic theme, in this case, the Doge theme, is enough to carry projects into the hundreds of millions and sometimes over $1 billion market cap. But it certainly is the case now. And so while there's not a lot here in terms of what they're offering and so forth, I really think there's more coming based on what I'm seeing from the team so far. And even if there wasn't, none of us can deny how well a lot of these projects have done just because they had good marketing, good communication, and it was striking some kind of chord, like with these memes, with the doggy theme. It's just kind of crazy. So the tokenomics are actually, I believe, a fork of Everrise. And I haven't confirmed that, but that's what I was told. And if it's not an actual fork, then it certainly works very similar, where they had that buyback that's building up. And they've used it a little, but they're definitely letting it build up because we're only a day into this. So they're going to be able to use that. Of course, Everrise calls it the Kraken. I think they call it Big Doge or something like that. And, they're getting ready to turn that on. They're building it up. They're letting some of the paper hands out first who are selling, because, when they turn that on more, that can really spike the price, and they don't want people that are, weak-handed to sell right away. So they're flushing some of that out. But a lot of people are excited about that. And we can't deny, when you look at the success of Everrise, Mini Doge also applied a version of that, but similar concept with that buyback protocol. And that is what this is as well. And I really honestly think, above and beyond the little doggy theme that's, having so much success in the market, the Doge kind of spinoff. Beyond that, it's this new type of tokenomics that Everrise proved is pretty powerful. Mini Doge came in and did a lot of things right. Mini Doge did a lot of things right to get up to, I think I saw them over 300 million market cap at some point. Again, our Discord group found that one, and I got into the pre-sale of that one thanks to our Discord group putting it in the bucket, and our vetters vetting it last week with Mini Doge. And they did a lot of things right. But this, it looks like they're really understanding the power of simple, and it's working. And because I was, pretty interested in the fact that they're doing so well on so many different simple areas that are so important, like the communication, like the Telegram group, like getting people together to help shill this, the quality of people that they're attracting that are actually, making things happen. But it's really these tokenomics, I think, that is driving a lot of this, because people have seen it be so effective before. So we'll see. No guarantees. Certainly not a financial advisor, not giving you financial advice, but just sharing with you why I participated in this. For those that need a little help on how you purchase something like this, you just go over to PancakeSwap. I wanted to show you how I do this with a 0.01 slippage. So you're supposed to set this at a slippage of 12 or more. And if you don't do what I'm about ready to show you when you're buying it, then you'll need to set the slippage pretty high. And by the way, if the price is moving really dramatically, what I'm going to show you doesn't work. But if you're able to come in when it's kind of hit a lull period, like there's not a lot of buying or selling, more than 80% of the time, I can buy with 0.01 slippage. And this goes for all tokens. Now, you can't sell that way, but you can usually buy at 0.01 slippage, which is almost nothing. Now, if there's a tax, it will add the tax on top of that. But you're not getting any additional slippage charge. Again, if the price is moving up or down really fast, that doesn't work. You're gonna have to bump up the slippage. Now, if you're having trouble because the price is moving fast when you happen to want to come in with this or any token, you would set the slippage at their recommended amount, and then you need to just increase it. Of course, slippage is when you click here and you can adjust it. You can see I have it at 0.01. If the price is moving fast, I would probably, since they recommended 12, I would start at 13 if the price is moving fast. If that didn't work, I'd go to 14. If that didn't work, I'd go to 15. And if the price is moving fast, you're going to have to do that. But I'm going to put it at 0.01 because over 80% of the time that works with this and other tokens. But what you need to do in that case, let's say you were to hit max, you need to come down here and you need to make sure the last digit is a 0. This already is. So I'm going to go to the previous digit. I'm going to turn it into a 0. And if it lets it happen, then it's going to go, most of the time it'll go through. I will say it can fail if the price all of a sudden starts moving and then you get charged a little gas, but this almost always works. So I use this. Now, if that didn't work, I would just keep going back and making the previous digit a 0, until it worked. So that's a really effective way to avoid extra slippage costs when you're buying tokens. Now, it doesn't work when you're selling. When you're selling, you're going to have to set the slippage where they recommend, and if price is moving, even increase it from there. But pretty simple. It's definitely one that I'm really interested in. Let's go back really quick before we close up and just talk about the tokenomics. I mentioned that it's very similar to Everrise. I was told that it's a fork of Everrise, although I didn't look closely to confirm that. It does have the buyback feature that really people were excited about with Everrise. Of course, Mini Doge that came out with their own version of that. Everrise has even changed. There's different adaptations of that buyback process, and I'm sure that they're going to be playing around with their own way of using that, but it's been pretty effective. We've seen in the market so far since it was introduced by Everrise. And for those that don't know what that is, when the price is doing various things, they use that buyback feature to literally buy back using their own bot, using BNB that was accumulated from the tokenomics. With every buy and sell, a little bit of BNB goes into the kitty, into the pot for using that buyback. And then they can use that to do all kinds of things. The price could be coming down. They could turn it on then. They can kind of automate it to trigger at certain times. But it's really shown to be a very effective way to not only get the market excited, but have a direct impact on the price. So I think a lot of people are excited about that. As you can see, there's not a lot here. They have a simple roadmap, and you can review that. I will definitely, emphasize this is on the simple side, but I'm going to really stress the market responds to simple a lot of times. And I think it's because, again, my theory is they don't have to think. Everyone knows what the Doge is. So we're seeing a lot of those do really, really well for just that fact. If there's good communication, good organization, bringing a good community together, working together, these can do extraordinarily well. So a pretty big opportunity here. Again, no guarantees, but when you look at the price, you look at the market cap, it's now a little over 2 million. You're seeing it starting to roll back up. They haven't really turned on, what Everrise calls the Kraken. They call, they call it Big Doge. They haven't really turned that fully on yet because they're letting it accumulate. So people are kind of anticipating that. There's lots of marketing coming. But you look at this price action, it looks pretty good. If we look a little more closely, I'll just show you again what I was showing you earlier. This big sell-off here was triggered by a huge a whale who sold. He was in the top 20, and I see he's no longer in the top 20, maybe sold everything, probably was in the pre-sale. And then this was another one that started to come back up, and another one that was in the top 20 sold out. And that's what you typically see, even with good projects, you're going to see a lot of profit taking early on. They probably made a killing because they got in the pre-sale. If you want to learn more about how we identified Mini Doge and this, in our Discord, we've got a team of people, hundreds of people trained on the same strategy, really well orchestrated, really well organized, put these in the bucket before they're on pre-sale. We have other vetters who come in and vet them. We follow the same format, so we know the hard cap, the soft cap, when they're launching. We meet every day with the insiders. If you can't meet, then we have insider picks where we post all kinds of stuff. Yesterday, there was something called Snoopy Inu that people were discussing. We were able to get together when the pre-sale launches of too many red flags, and it turned out being a rug pull, and we didn't get into it because we knew it was a rug pull. Insider chat, you can check in there if you want to follow discussions here and there if you can't make it to the calls that we have every day. Lots of awesome sections. We do micro caps too. So after something launches, kind of the same thing. And lots of different sections and segments to cover all kinds of things, but those are the top ones that allow us to really get in on those pre-sales. So look below if you want to learn more about that. We do have a class that requires you to watch because we want, if you're going to be in there, because We want people to know what they're doing. We don't just want anybody in there. That's why it's so effective. As you can see, this price is looking pretty good. I mean, I don't know when you're going to see this video, but I definitely think this has a lot of potential, mainly because of those factors I mentioned. The theme of the Doge is undisputable. The Everrise protocol, even if theirs is a little different, they're trying different things with it. That concept obviously has a lot of potential and can move the market. And then just the simplicity of this, well, you know, I like utility. I couldn't deny how well these meme coins have done. And while mini Doge that went to 300 million market cap in a few days that we got into the pre-sale last week, while they really stood out with the transparency on the videos and all that kind of stuff, we can't deny that simplicity goes a long way with these Doge themes. So that's why I got into this one, and I haven't regretted it, done extremely well. And, you know, I think this has a lot of potential to hit 50 million or beyond, which would be a 25x from here. And if they continue to add on to the simple, if they start to talk about utility, which a lot of these projects do that show this high of a level of communication and this well of an organized Telegram, if they continue to develop this, this could, you know, just absolutely go to the moon. So definitely one to watch out for and consider. Not a financial advisor. Always look at hiring a financial advisor if you're looking for advice. Just my strategies. And definitely look below if you want to learn about our crypto pre-sale strategy and how we work together to find the 100Xs. I'll see you soon.